everybody, my name is TerraRaven, and tonight I will be your reader. On this lovely dark night, we have 3 creepypastas that I hope you all enjoy listening to as much as I enjoy reading. With that said, I want you to sit back, relax, and prepare to be scared. Okay, Mr. Johnson, you want to explain what's been going on? You say that your son was some sort of maggot monster? I mean, that sounds a little crazy to be honest with you. Kind of like that, officer, not really, but I don't know. Look, Mr. Johnson, we just want to get this taken care of so we can understand the situation. You say that your son's also missing? Yes, officer. Alright, just start at the beginning, and we'll try to figure out how to help you from there. Okay. It started with my 3-year-old son screaming in his room in the middle of the night. When I came in to check on him, he was in hysterics, tears ran down his cheeks, and he cried about how the boogeyman had frightened him. I let him sleep with the wife and I for the night, thinking it was just some nightmare. The next evening, he didn't even want to be in his room, but I convinced him that the boogeyman was just a figment of his imagination. I was awoken once more by his screams. I rushed into his room, and once again he was crying. On the 3rd night, I set up a camcorder in his room in order to show him that there was no monster. That evening, there was no screaming and no crying. I was refreshed when I woke up that morning after I've gotten my first good sleep in days. However, my son seemed so fatigued. He was so tired, rings around his eyes. He just looked like shit. He didn't even put up his usual fuss in the morning when we got him ready for preschool. When my wife took him to daycare, I decided to review the camera's tape in order to find out how he had slept. I'll never forget what happened. At around 2 a.m., while my son was asleep, his closet doors slowly creaked open. Out of the shadows crept a pale, naked, veiny woman with long, white hair and solid black eyes. Her body was bony and frail like that of a Holocaust survivor. When she turned to the side, I could see her spine protruding from her hunched back like some dinosaur. She reached into my son's crib with her unnaturally large hands and covered his mouth. He was trying to scream, but he couldn't. The palm of one of her hands could easily cover his face, muffle his cries. She snatched him up with ease that a person of her frame should not have been able to do. Then she walked back into the closet with him in her arms, and about an hour later she returns to what looked like a wriggling maggot the size of a duffel bag and placed it in my son's bed before retreating once more to the closet. For the next 2 hours, I watched it twist and writhe while it grew and mutated until it looked just like my baby boy. Once the transformation was complete, he got out of bed and slipped on a pair of his pajamas and slid back under the covers and waited for us to come in. I don't know what that thing was, officer, but I know it was not my son. Alright, Miss Johnson, we understand. Can we get that videotape for evidence, so that way we can catch the perpetrator? Of course, officer, here you go. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. If we have any more further questions, we'll contact you. Thank you so much. Good night, Mr. Johnson. Good night, officer. It's about 10:19 p.m. I'm driving home from night class as I stop at a gas station 2 blocks away from my apartment. No one else seems to be around, and few cars pass by. I get out of my car and head towards the small convenience store associated with just about every gas station. The doors are locked, so I make my way to the window where the cashiers help customers when they've closed down for the night. I look inside as I knock on the window. The lights are on, but I can't seem to find anyone inside. I turn around and check on my car, still there. I turn back around and get startled. Facing me from inside the store was the cashier. Blood flows down from her pure black eyes and into her clothes. She tilts her head and slightly opens her mouth. She extends her hand and, "Hey buddy, mind hurrying it up?" I turn around and respond to an impatient customer. "Oh, sorry about that. Oh geez, here I go again, narrating my life in the darkest way possible." Another person lines up behind the other customer as I take out my wallet and hand a $20 bill to the perfectly healthy female cashier. "What number?" she asks. 7. I put my wallet back into my pocket. "Thank you." I nod my head and return to my car. I gas it up and continue to head home. I've always had this fascination of imagining the most messed up things when I go about my life. Just like how I did when I was at the gas station. I'm always half expecting these imaginations to happen when I think about them, which is why I always do it. I love getting the feeling of being scared or the short-lived anxiety that comes with it. Sometimes, even if I wouldn't expect what I originally imagined, my heart would jump when there'd actually be something there, like a person being on the other side of a hall when I turned a dark corner, even though it won't be a beast of some sort that I thought up. I step on the brakes and halt my car. When I hit the four-way stop, I check the rear view mirror. The back seat of the area of my car is dark, and my mind begins to manifest another situation as I resume my drive. Behind me sits a thin, long-haired creature. It has the body of a dog and a mouth like that of a human being. Its eyes are wide and purely white. It stares at me as I look ahead of myself, paying attention to the road. It never stops staring as I drive. I turn my head to check the blind spot, and the creature is gone. I look forward again, and the creature returns behind me, only to have its face inches closer to my neck. The reflection of the creature can be seen in the rearview mirror, but I still don't notice it. The creature smiles, revealing its sharp, crooked teeth. Soon Oh, I'm home now. Time sure flies. I pulled up to my parking spot, and turned my car off. I grabbed my backpack from the passenger seat and pulled the handle of the car door to open it, but stop as I feel something blow past the back of my neck like a breath. I disregarded it until I felt it a second time. Memories. They're how we know what has happened. Everything you remember goes into who you are, why you act the way you do. It's a shame that people are not afflicted by the things that they cannot remember, especially you. Memories are funny like that. Sometimes, when something so wonderfully frightening happens to you, your silly mind blocks it out to protect you. While it might think that it's doing you a favor, it kills me to take those things away from you. Amazing things that have happened to you. Horrible things that have happened to you. Even if you've forgotten, I will always remember. I was there with you, every step of the way. I was standing in the shadows, watching you, tormenting you. You have such exquisite fear. I can't get enough of it. Over and over, I put you through the most exciting times of your life, watching each time as you collapse upon yourself in mindless terror. You're exhilarating. If only I could watch you suffer forever. But that silly mind of yours, each time you forget what fun we've had and go on like nothing's ever happened. You even read stories about horrific things, and you take pleasure in those horrors as I do. Yet, you could never even fathom how grand it is to watch you endure them. None of those stories could amount to the terrors you've faced. I want to have more fun with you and spend more time with you. I want to watch you screech in dismay again and again. I want to experience your agony a million times. I only wish you would remember the dread I put you in. I wish that you would remember me and cry out into the night. It delights me thoroughly every time you see one of my abominations. You're so resourceful, always finding a way to live without losing any of your limbs. If only I could watch you die as you scream, so scared for your life. If only the last memory you had was of me, making you drown in your fear as you begged for mercy, tears streaming down your face, I tell you I love you. And I would thank you for all those great times you've let me share with you. I think I would be truly happy as I watched you sink into your final dying despair. If you were smart, you wouldn't turn on those lights and pretend that you're not hearing strange noises. You wouldn't distract yourself and remain alone, convinced that you'll be okay. Do you remember what happened the last time you did? No, I suppose you wouldn't.